Music City, the fourth-ranked Texas Longhorns look for a series win against Vanderbilt. Texas took game one last night. Tim Corbin's team is sitting on the cut line for the postseason. 19 consecutive NCAA tournaments. That is in peril coming into this weekend. Meanwhile, Jim Schlossnagle and the Texas Longhorns are standing in high cotton. They're projected to be the #3 national seed once we get to the postseason. And a big Texas win last night. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Kyle Peterson. You get the sense with this Vandy team that is down some pitching arms and has struggled in many ways on the mound this season that a sense of urgency is needed the back half of this league play.
I think it's got to start. I mean, we just saw the graphic right there. We don't see that graphic with Vandy this time of season really ever. One of the biggest problems is RPI. That can change this weekend. They're playing the right teams for the balance of the SEC season, but they got to start winning some of this.
Well, I hope you like stars because there's plenty on both sides, including one last night for Texas who homered twice. Aiden Robbins leads the SEC in long balls in league games.
He's got 17 total this year. 10 have come in the SEC. He had 12 the first 2 years at Seton Hall. First year at Texas. But for Aiden Robbins, one of the big offensive sparks for this Texas lineup. Mike Mancini's been around this program for a while, but the power has really jumped this year for Mancini as well. He's just one behind Robbins as far as home runs in league games. He hit another one last night, too, for the Vandy boys.
Meanwhile, for Vandy, they're going with Aiden Stillman in this game, and Stillman back after some shoulder issues early in the season. This is a Vandy team which comes in with an ERA of 5.5 as a squad, and so the freshman lefty gets his second start of the season.
Really highly regarded coming out of high school. Was a Florida prepster and didn't pitch in the fall. And then they had to ease him in during the course of the season. First start was at College Station, didn't get out of the first, and he's got only 5 2/3 innings this year. The stuff is good. It's a mid-90s fastball, good changeup, good breaking ball, but just hasn't been out there very much yet this year.
Dave, thank you, and welcome to Nashville. Texas and Vandy, game 2 of this 3-game series after an 11-4 Texas win last night. Tom Hart alongside Kyle Peterson, and Aiden Robbins leading things off for Texas after a 2-home-run game last night. The junior transfer from Seton Hall has just mashed SEC pitching, and he gets the first crack at Aiden Stillman, the freshman lefty for Vandy, making just his second start of the year. And Stillman misses upstairs to take the count to 2-0 to get us started. Well, these two teams attacking the series from opposite directions. Texas is looking at a national seed for the second consecutive season under Jim Schlossnagle. Vandy is in trouble, living on the cut line for the postseason. Now 2-1 to Robbins.
Vandy's biggest issues have really been out of conference. They have not won a lot of the midweek games that you're used to seeing them win. They weren't great when they went on the road early in the season, and that's come back to bite them.
And Robbins torches this one to left field. Hampton back and makes a running catch as he meets the track. Let's take a look at the batting order put together for the Longhorns. They've been top heavy over the last few weekends. Bottom half having a hard time carrying its weight, but Adrian Rodriguez back at shortstop and homered last night for the first time this year.
And healthy, and that's the biggest thing, as he had played early in the season, but the hand was still bothering him. That has now gone away from a pain standpoint. Jumped on one last night, but he solidifies him on the infield when he's out there at shortstop.
This is catcher Carson Tinney. Notre Dame transfers having a monster season for Texas. Fits in really well with this offense. Not just 10th in the league in OPS, but tied for 5th in walks. And 14 home runs doesn't hurt either. Now 1-1, 94 that time from Stillman.
He'll lean on that fastball. That's been a calling card in the short stint so far that he's been out there. Said his second start this year, just his 5th appearance overall.
And Tinney sends this one out of play to the right side.
And it's probably a one-time through the order max for Stillman tonight in Vanderbilt. They, up until this week, if it wasn't one of their first 2 starters that pitched every weekend in the SEC, they'd use 6 different starters in SEC games on the weekend.
1-2's fouled off. And last night's starter for Vanderbilt, Connor Fennell, who's been their Friday night guy, got touched for 9 runs over 5 innings after a good start to the game. He only allowed 9 earned runs in his previous 3 starts. Tenney coming off of a 2 for 4. He's hit safely 9 of his last 10. And that was close. David Susi's got the plate tonight.
Trying to go backdoor breaking ball right there, and it was fighting to catch the outside part of the play. Good take right there from Tenney to get it back to 2-2.
And this one's touched deep to left field. Hampton will turn and watch it come off the top of the wall. Tenney was a foot away from a solo shot, and he slides in and nearly overslid the bag. And that ball smoked off the wall.
He doesn't get cheated. I mean, this is a 2-strike. Well, no, we're not really going to shorten up on 2 strikes. We're going to do that. The approach pretty much the same for Tenney. The first 2 hitters of this ball game, it was 103 off the bat for Robbins on the fly ball out. And this one 107 off the bat of Carson Tenney for a 1-out double.
And it brings Anthony Pack to the plate. A Texas team which is 23 home runs behind Vanderbilt over the course of the season. And mainly, as I mentioned earlier, it's been the top of the lineup that's been getting the job done. First pitch strike to Pack. Pack top 10 in the SEC in doubles. He's got 14 of them. And he brings speed to the lineup for Texas, batting the 3-hole. Reynolds stays in front of it.
He has had a really good freshman season. He being Anthony Pack. They were excited about the upside of him. I don't know if Schloss necessarily thought he'd be hitting 3rd this time of the year, but hitting above 400 in SEC games, and that's tops on this Texas offense.
Pack had a couple of hits last night, and the breaking ball misses up in the zone 2-1. We're talking to this Texas coaching staff about Pack a couple of weeks ago. They pointed out he never lifted weights. He didn't play under lights. His outfield in high school at Millikan High School didn't even have a fence. And it helps you appreciate the upside that's in front of what Anthony Pack has this in his first year. And Stillman's got real velo, sitting in the mid to upper 90s.
Yeah, he'll live there. That start against Texas A&M a couple weeks ago, he was 92 to 95. He's bumped a few 95s already today.
And Pack sends a shot to right center field. That one will lay down in front of Rigdon. They'll stop Tenney at 3rd. Early offense for Texas.
Yeah, 3 good swings so far for this Texas offense. That was a breaking ball, and that's the one that Stillman's going to need to get him off the fastball, at least show it for a strike. But elevated, Pack recognized it right away. Not a great read on second base by Tenney. If he read that early, he may have been able to score. But cautious here in the first inning with 1 out. But Texas now runners on 1st and 3rd with just 1 down.
That brings Adrian Rodriguez up, sophomore from Flower Mound, Texas. Last year, perfect game, first team freshman All-America, back from hand injury and back at his spot at short. 3 hits last night, including this one.
Yeah, this was good to see, too. I mean, not only did he go deep for the first time, did it dead central from the left side. He's a natural switch hitter, has done it his entire life, and there's power from both sides.
He's been much better against right-handers, hit just a .154 against lefties this season. And that one good enough for a strike, 1-1. 7 home runs last year, played the entire season for Texas, which was a national seed, but couldn't make it out of Austin. Got his stitches out of his hand the Thursday before the A&M series. And then returned full force against Alabama last week. Started all 3 games at short, didn't have a ton of success at the plate, but getting back in the swing of things. Keeping Pack honest. 14 swipes on the season, top 10 in the league.
Yeah, Texas has been really efficient too in stolen bases this year. They don't run a ton. They run a decent amount, but they've been thrown out just 10 times. 74, 84 as a team on the year.
Vanderbilt's been really good defensively this season, leading the league in double plays turn, and Stillman could use one as his first inning pitch count approaches 20. And he freezes Rodriguez. 2 down. Big strikeout.
Yeah, tough to pull the trigger on that one too. 96 glove side at the knees. If you can make this pitch to a right-hander, you're going to get this reaction a lot of times. That was well done by the freshman.
So coming into this weekend, Texas projected as a #3 national seed. They're a national seed last year, 31-8 for Jim Schlossnagle. The Vandy side, unfamiliar territory, fighting to be included and to grab an at-large berth. They've been in 19 consecutive NCAA tournaments under Tim Corbin. And that foul tip may have caught a little of Corbin Reynolds.
It's not very often that we go in and do a Vandy series and are talking about lack of pitching depth. Now, a lot of it is due to injuries. They've been decimated by injuries on the mound, but generally that's the Vandy calling cards. You know they're going to go deep in the bullpen and generally have 3 pretty staple guys on the weekend that they're going to go to.
Runner on the move, pitch is fouled off. Yeah, they flipped the script here in Nashville. It is an offense first team, 3rd in the country in home runs. And due to the injuries to the pitching staff and some lack of production elsewhere, the pitching hasn't kept up with the offense. Dead last in the league in ERA, last in WHIP, allowed 51 home runs. And that's a first whiff of the opening frame for Aaron Stillman. He gets back-to-back strikeouts to get out of trouble and out of a jam.
Big spot for the freshman in the first. First and third, one out. Goes punch out, both on the fastball. That went up to 96. A solid first inning for the freshman. Vandy boys offense coming up.
No moment too big. Vanderbilt seems to have found some magic here at this ballpark.
We just stick to our standard, and it's playing to the standard and the scoreboard.
We're coming in here and we're winning this game. It's another team with uniform. Anything can happen in baseball.
Vandy's going to walk it off. Texas wants it all.
The goal is to go there and win 3 baseball games.
I'm going to do everything in my power to shut them down and make sure they're getting on that bus with 3 losses when they come to the Hawkins field.
In fact, Texas here at this ballpark for the first time since 1907, where Vanderbilt historically has had a ton of success, including the Tennessee series where they walked off the Volunteers in all 3 games. 3rd in the country in home runs. Here's how Tim Corbin has put together his batting order for the day. And coming off of a game last night where they got some late thunder with 3 runs in the 7th. But managed 4 runs on 8 hits. And they get a guy across from them 60 feet away that will throw everything at them that you can imagine. Ruger Riojas, a senior from Wimberley, Texas. pitched primarily out of the bullpen last year. His game has taken a massive jump.
It has, in part, is the velocity. The average velocity on a fastball is about 2 to 3 miles an hour better than it was last year. So really all of the stuff is uptick from there. Primarily fastball, cutter, split. And he'll throw the split to both righties and lefties. Clearly in the running for most interesting man in college baseball as well.
Throws 5 pitches over the top. He throws 3 sidearm. He's an elite fielder. And he had 2 horrendous starts against South Carolina, against A&M, and he bounced back with an 11K performance over 5 innings against Alabama last time out. Mike Mancini at the plate, fouls off the first. Senior veteran from Enwell, New York, 13 home runs in the season, 9 of them against SEC pitching. And he sends one high and deep to left. Larson at the wall, trying to play it off the fence. It was halfway up and then eluded Larson for a moment. A double all the way for Mancini.
Pretty impressive power jump that we've seen this year from Mancini. This is a cutter up that Mancini just stays on, takes the other way. This is a part of this ballpark that plays different than most. That fence and left at its shortest spot is just 310 feet away. I think he thought he got it the way that he was going around first too. But about halfway up that wall, it's a leadoff double for Mancini, who's been on base a ton this year for Vandy.
Well, those in the ballpark last night saw a home run from Aiden Robbins over the wall and left that came off the bat at 91. I asked him at BP, he said 91. He said, yeah, I think they rounded up. Here's Brody Johnston now. He's got real raw power. And Riojas misses up and in. From down the road in Ottawa, Tennessee, an OPS over 1100. Johnson was left hitless last night, 0 for 5. And he touches this one deep to left center field. It is off the glove and back into the playing field. Robbins with a fantastic effort. The relay home never comes, and it's a run-scoring triple for Brody Johnston.
We got some barrels early, Tommy. This is another barrel cutter that stays in. You can see the offensive approach. Both swings have been against the cutter. That ball was definitely going out if it does not hit the glove of Robbins out in center field. So at a minimum, it kept it in the ballpark. They may have had a chance at Mancini at home plate.
Vanderbilt challenging the call in the field.
He was about standing on second base when that ball hit Aiden Robbins' glove. They did not try to relay and throw him out, and it ended up being a triple. I don't think it hit a fan, did it? I think it just hit Robbins' glove. That could be the only thing you're challenging here.
Yeah, because if it didn't hit the glove, it hit something above the yellow wall and would be a home run, and that's why they're challenging it. You know, a lot of ballparks have a railing out there. Yeah, that did not hit the glove.
His glove.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I thought it was his glove. It was going out.
After replay, there's no fan interference, no home run. That's an umpire challenge, so Vanderbilt still has 2 challenges remaining.
Well, the umpires themselves decide to look at it. Kevin Sweeney, the crew chief. How about the hustle out of the box?
Yeah, hustle out of the box is great, but watch where Mancini is when this ball hits Robbins' glove. I mean, he's tagging at that point. Now you got Johnston on his tail. I mean, if they hit the cutoff man when the double cut, they've got a chance at Mancini at home plate.
Here's Braden Holcomb, and here's another issue that has come into play in modern baseball. Holcomb says, I'll clear everything. And it's a 2-run home run to the back of the bleachers. Just the 3rd home run allowed by Riojas this season. And we see the strength of this Vanderbilt team in the opening frame. 3 extra base hits.
That's the way this offense is built this year. 3rd in the country in home runs. At the 13th of the year for Braden Holcomb, a no-doubter on a first pitch split that came off the bat at 107 and went about 400 feet to left center field.
How about 424 to be precise? The first home run in 23 games for Holcomb. And now Colin Barca at the plate. Bartsy, pardon me, from Naperville. Been dealing with a shoulder injury earlier this season. He has a pair of 2-3 home run games. And he swings through 95, 1-1. Interesting discussion with Riojas when he's getting hit. Does he have too large an arsenal?
No, I don't think that he does. I mean, it's granted it's from different arm angles, but it still is primarily fastball cutter split. And he'll flip a curveball in there sometimes to slow the bat down a little bit. Will drop down from time to time and lower that arm angle almost 2 feet from where he's thrown over the top.
Got off to a sizzling start. First 4 games this season, he struck out 42 batters in 22 innings, and he gets a punch out here of Colin Bartsy for the first out of the frame.
Not a lot of guys that go up there sitting on a first pitch split. I'm not sure that he was. I think that Holcomb just reacted to it, but 424 feet and 107 off the bat. He got every piece of this one. That was a no-doubter. 88th home run of the season for this Vandy boys offense.
And here's the red hot Tommy Gooden. 11 for his last 19. Came in as a pinch hitter last night, drew a walk. 9 homers and 29 driven in. 5 of the 9 have come in league play. High, deep. Larson back to the wall again. Again off the wall. And they're just peppering the big wall in left field. 4th hit of the frame. All 4 have gone for extra bases.
Tommy Gooden didn't get an at bat last year. It is real juice, and it's real juice that way. He has big time opposite field power. 9 home runs and 95 at bats coming in, is now starting to get an opportunity to play a little bit more, but he doesn't need to get all of it for it to do this. And just about carry out of this ballpark halfway up that wall out in left field. That's twice that they've peppered that wall already. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run through the first 5 hitters.
This is Rustin Rigdon. And a first pitch strike to Rigdon. Sophomore from Metter, Georgia, has 4 home runs. He's driven in 20. 1 for 4 last night with a couple of Ks. Fouls it straight back. What a jump for Vandy.
Yeah, it's pretty striking what the differences are, and it's a lot of the same names. But guys that have just made big jumps from a power standpoint. Brody Johnson's done a great job of limiting the strikeouts, increasing the walks, made himself more complete.
Chopper off the plate. Rodriguez takes care of it. Advances Gooden to 3rd. It's the most runs Ruger Riojas has allowed in the opening inning this year. And his counterpart Aiden Stillman's got to be feeling great about this. He'll take the mound in the second with at least a 3-run advantage as Riker Waite stands in. One and 1. Same pitch 3 times.
3 straight cutters. Actually, the last one was a split. It was 2 cutters to start, then a split right there.
And this one's sent to right. Pack handles it to close the opening inning, but 3 runs on 4 hits, including this monster shot from Braden Holcomb. A no-doubter to the back of the bleachers and all the way out of the ballpark. 3-0 Vandy boys. Well, coming down the home stretch, and you couldn't ask for anything more entertaining. Georgia's fallen to 13-6. They got a doubleheader today, and the thriller earlier. Look at all the rankings by the teams in the top half of this league. Ole Miss now sitting at 11-8. It's a little drama in Oxford today, huh?
A whole lot of drama. Yeah, that was an 8-0 Georgia lead. It looked like they were going to run away and hide. They chased Hunter Elliott. Ole Miss came back, hit 5 home runs to win the opener 10-8.
Here's Temo Becerra at the plate for Texas to lead off the 2nd inning. Senior from Clovis, California, hitting .287. Just 200 against lefties this year, though. And he takes a strike 1-1. And if Stillman had any nerves about making just his 2nd start of the season, perhaps those were calmed when his offense gave him a 3-run advantage.
Yeah, you see one of your guys hit the lemonade stand in the 1st out left center. You breathe a little easier.
Golly, that's a tasty dog. Texas had to move around and use its infield depth when Rodriguez was out for a moment. And Becerra was recruited to play short, but plugged in over at 3rd. 51 starts last year in a .330 average. Transferred in from Stanford, where he earned his undergraduate degree. Played in the College World Series. And he earns a leadoff walk. Walks have been an issue for this Vanderbilt pitching staff this season. Walks and hit batters. Vanderbilt has walked nearly twice as many batters in league play as Texas has, coming in 120-63, and they've also hit 32 batters.
Yeah, and they're facing a Texas offense that will force you to throw strikes. They are very patient, won't go out of the zone very often.
Here's the versatile Ashton Larson. A couple of weeks ago, he was plugged in defensively at first. Came off the field during batting practice today and turned to me. He said, "I got my outfield glove back."
He's a little more comfortable out there.
Interesting conversation, though. He said, I learned something new every day when I was playing first base. And the takeaway in our brief conversation was that's got to make you a better player all around.
Yeah. People don't realize the intricacies of playing first base till you stand over there.
Battled quad injuries last year with LSU. Tigers won the national title. Only 5 starts for Jay Johnson's team. Went to the Cape, hit 300 there. And he golfs this one down the right field line, deep into the corner and into the bullpen for a moment before it bounced over to the street. Larson got off to a great start this season. Had a hit in 4 of his first 5 games in a Texas uniform. Mid-March, he was sitting near 350. Becerra not going anywhere. And there's ball 3 at 96.
It's that glove side fastball that he stuck earlier for the strikeout. Didn't miss by a whole lot. You can see that glove kind of turn over right there by Corbin Reynolds, freshman catcher. Becerra may be moving here.
Back-to-back 3-ball counts from Stillman. Swing and a miss by Larson. He's K3 of the last 4. Let's check at the Vanderbilt resume as we move closer towards the postseason. RPI today low 70. Strength of schedule 69. D1's projections have them the first 4 out. A series win against a top 5 team would certainly be very influential. Dropped game 1 last night, an 11-4 Texas win.
2 more with Texas. They go to Alabama next week, and then they go to Missouri and finish up with South Carolina at home.
So which would be easier or more likely for Vanderbilt coming down the home stretch? Splitting against Texas and Alabama, or sweeping Missouri and South Carolina?
You definitely got to win both series against Missouri and South Carolina, but it feels like you got to win 5 of them. And I think a split is realistic. I mean, it would take winning 3 of the next 5 against Texas and Alabama. You do that, it gets them to that 16 number. In fact, beyond.
Were you just doing some math?
I was trying to do some mathing, but I couldn't quite get there. 7 and 9 is 16. Yeah, mathing. Yeah. Got there.
Nothing into it to Casey Borba.
But this has been the game on the weekend that has been the issue for Vanderbilt. It is the days that Fennell and Neto don't throw. In those days, 6 of the last 7 weekends, they've given up at least 10 runs. Now they hit a bunch of home runs, but that's not easy to overcome.
Borba strikeout prone. Watches that one miss. 48 Ks on the season, 11th most in the league. Vanderbilt, to your point, has pitched to an ERA in league play of 7.95. Outside 2-2.
I think it's the first 2 changeups he's thrown today.
Shift is on the infield, and Borbo looks at strike 3. He's Kate 4 out of 5.
Came back with a breaking ball with 2 straight changeups off the plate. Then it tried to backdoor this breaking ball earlier. This one catches the heart of the plate. Borbo just can't pull the trigger.
So 2 of the first 3 batters connected for hits. He got out of trouble with back-to-back strikeouts in the opening inning. And now back-to-back Ks here with Livingston. Already an SEC high 4 strikeouts for Aiden Stillman. Livingston, a senior from Prosper, Texas. Got his undergraduate degree from Wichita State. That went in on the letters, 1-0. Last year, 56 starts for the Shockers. Led the team in home runs, RBI, total bases, and slugging. Spent his freshman year, first 2 years, I should say, at Crowder College. You got the Crowder mascot?
Crawdads.
Really close. Rough Riders.
Yep.
Although I'd like to put in a petition to change it to Crawdads.
I think it just kind of, it's a merch move. All the minor league teams do that. They change their names and sell a bunch of hats.
Yeah, new jerseys for
about that.
Flip Johnston to shallow right with the shift on and 2 strikes to Livingston. Just missed with the fastball.
43 pitches now. This will get him 1 time through the order. Season high was 52 pitches his last time out last weekend against Kentucky. That was out of the bullpen.
Fly ball to right. Holcomb camps underneath it, and that'll close the second. No runs after the leadoff man reached. 3 stranded through 2, and Vandy up by 3.
Well, Ruby Riojas touched up a little bit in the first inning, give up 3 runs, but it's an interesting combination of arm angles when he's gone over the top, and that's really what he's done all day today. That release point's a good 6 feet above. But now watch this. When he drops down, you're not going to see it a ton. He'll only drop down somewhere between 5 and 10% of the time on average. But look at the different look to the hitter, and then the movement profile is totally different. When he drops down with that fastball, it's got a ton of arm side run. See if he goes to it a little bit more, because the swings over the top were significant. We talked about the bump in velocity. It's also been a bump in swing and miss. And he doesn't walk anybody. He's only walked 12 guys coming into this, less than 2 per 9. But Vandy looked pretty comfortable at the plate in the first.
Starts with Corbin Reynolds, the 8-hole hitter. here in the second inning. Very comfortable for Vandy in the first inning. Double, triple, home run, and then another double after Colin Bartsey strikeout. And the breaking ball has popped out of play. Reynolds misses the fastball, 1-2. Just off the edge. Carson Tenney thought they had it.
Good take right there by the freshman too. Those hands started to go, and that's pretty good strength to hold that swing up.
And Tenney receives strike 3 on the swing. Second K for Riojas.
First one swinging, and this one on that fastball that has been up to 96 today for Ruger Riojas. This one at 95. They really focused on elevating that the fastball to Corbin Reynolds. That time he couldn't hold up.
Well, he's got a veteran catcher behind the plate in Carson Tenney, who gives him a large target behind the dish, and is impressive enough that even other coaches in the league have taken notice of how he receives pitches.
Yeah, it's very quiet. Which is a compliment to a catcher. There's not a lot of moving parts. Once he gets set, he stays there. He catches a lot of things in the middle of his body, which makes it look a lot more appealing to a home plate umpire.
Tried to frame that one, couldn't bring it back. And one of the other aspects of that is Will Hampton gets an at bat here, is talking to the Texas staff. They don't ask him to move around much. They don't ask him to set up over the outer third or off the edge. He just puts that glove right in front of that big broad chest and lets the pitches move if they need to.
It is a comfortable target to throw to. I mean, he's built like your old school catchers. Just stout, can get very wide down there, can get pretty low too if he's trying to work that low part of the zone.
Tim Corbin compared him pregame size-wise to Carlton Fisk. He's 6'4", 240.
I asked him before the game, I said, who taught you how to receive? He goes, I don't know that it was anybody in particular, but he played with Cashin Duggar, the catcher at UCLA, growing up, and he said the two of us would really work on it together. That's two pretty good catchers that are starting on 2 of the top 3 teams in the country.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Hampton 0 for 4 last night. And works a 3-ball count. Hampton getting an opportunity due to injury, which is a common theme with this Vanderbilt roster this season. Into the left field corner. Larson will chase all the way to the line, and that one off the top of the brick wall. And
yeah, that's
not easy.
No, and the pads don't go all the way down. And so a lot of times the guys slide into it. There's brick at the bottom, and watch when he goes down. He catches it. Yeah, it was both those feet that caught the brick on the bottom.
And he's saying, can I go back to first?
Maybe I did like that first baseman's glove.
I don't understand why the padding doesn't go all the way down on a turf field.
I don't either.
I understand on a natural surface where you drag the track and you don't want to rip up the padding. Oh, right underneath Rojas, and it dribbles into center field for a hit out of the 9-hole for Vandy.
You talked about it, Hampton getting his chance because of the injury to Logan Johnstone. Riojas is a really good athlete too, man, and he just about pulled one out right here. Flipped that glove down, it would have been behind his body. He was a high school athlete, multiple sports, moves around great on the mound, but that time a good job by the 9-hole hitter to shoot one back up the middle.
And Johnstone, as you mentioned, is out because of a collision that he had with the man now at the plate, Mike Mancini, in shallow right field last weekend.
It was the first time he's dropped down. See the velocity difference. He's been 90, 94, 95 over the top. That one from that lower arm angle in there at 90.
Mancini doubled off of the wall in left field his first time up. Ooh, beautiful pickup by Tenney in a short hop.
Fastball to start at 90, then it looks like comes back with a changeup. The second pitch, and that from that angle too, it's got a bunch of arm side run. That changeup just held on to a little bit too long. Pretty athletic behind the plate by Tenney.
Shift is on the infield. And Mancini fooled on that one.
You see 3 pitches in this at bat from 2 different arm angles, and all 3 have been different. First pitch fastball, changeup after. That was the split from the higher arm angle.
That one was close. Tenney thought it had enough. And he's checking with David Susi behind the plate right now. Full count to the senior. Already as many pitches in the second inning as Rojas threw in the first. Runner on the move, swing and a miss. Tenney's throws on the bag, but it kicks away. And a stolen base for Hampton, his first of the year.
Tim Corbin taking a chance right there, putting the base runner in motion. Hampton off and moving on a 3-2 count. Split down in the zone that was swung through. Tenney had to take it on a short hop, but it'll be the first stolen base and the first stolen base attempt this year for Will Hampton.
So here's Brody Johnston, who just missed a home run. Aiden Robbins got enough leather on it above the wall in left center to bring it back into the field of play. The end result was an RBI triple. First triple of the season for Brody Johnston. You mentioned Johnson, part of this Vandy attack, getting his walk rate up. Walked only 10 times last year. Already 25 walks this season. Led all SEC freshmen with 30 extra base hits last year. And he rides this one down the right field line. It'll be out of play and into the bullpen.
Yeah, he's turned into a complete hitter. Last year, you could see the raw power, and it was there. I mean, he had a very impressive freshman season, but the strikeouts were well over 60. And you talk about the walk number. This year, they've come a little bit closer together. 25 walks, 34 strikeouts at this point, and the power numbers continue to go up. OPS above 1,100 coming into this game.
And he struck out 28% of the time last year on his way to 15 home runs. Climbed the zone on him, and he strikes out on the high fastball. Back-to-back Ks for Riojas. Strikes out 3 in the second. When we return, we'll talk with Vandy's head coach Tim Corbin. 2 complete. 3-0 Vandy boys. Tennessee's second game of the series. Tom Hart with Kyle Peterson. Happy to be joined by Vandy's head coach Tim Corbin down in the third base dugout. Coach, what do you expect and what have you asked of Aiden Stillman tonight?
Just let him go for as long as he can. I say long as he can. I mean, we've got restraints, but I didn't think we just didn't want to pin him down to any certain number. I think when he gets to a certain point, we'll know. Hasn't been out there much, but we're trying to build him up, too. It's almost like spring training for him. We're trying to build up a starter mid-season.
Of course, we saw the offense in the first, and that's the offense that you've seen a lot this year. It is a different look than it has been in years past, just from a pure power standpoint. How has that forced you, maybe not forced you, but allowed you to coach differently this year?
There's probably more times where I'm just sticking my hand in my pocket and not really doing as much. I like movement, but at the same time, if they're moving the baseball and they're moving it with authority and they're hitting in the gaps and occasionally hitting over the fence, then that's kind of what we want to do, and I don't want to get in the way of that. So that's probably the main difference.
Hey, do you ever hear from your former players who are saying, where was this offense when we were here?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know, too.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, that's right. Better question coming from me.
Good. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Here's Tim Corbin, 19 consecutive NCAA tournaments. And here's a guy that everybody in the SEC was after, Aiden Robbins, who was lightly recruited out of the Philly area, ended up at Seton Hall. He said, I committed to Seton Hall early because they're the only ones that wanted me, so I gave him a couple of years, and he has translated that into a huge opportunity with Texas, and he has taken full advantage of.
Yeah, he has shot up some draft boards, too. I mean, the power numbers, first 2 years combined at Seton Hall, he had 12 home runs. But still was most highly regarded guys that was in the portal. This year has started to use the pull side more than he did his first 2 years in college, and those power numbers just keep on going up. 17 home runs now on the year.
2 last night, and he touches this one deep left center. Rigdon, and the park will hold it. No wind to speak of tonight. And Robbins is 0 for 2. Tim Corbin is the face of this Vanderbilt baseball program, and for many years, most success the Vanderbilt athletic department. 19 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances, 20 out of 22 opportunities, and 2-time national champion. Big cut for Tinney.
5 times in the College World Series. 4 of those 5 times they played in the finals.
So Vanderbilt, by getting to one of those benchmarks that we outlined earlier in terms of SEC wins, we'll be back in the postseason for the 20th time. They'd be a 3 seed unless something wild happens in the back half of their season. And the question will be, what kind of damage could they do as a 3 seed in a regional?
Well, they got to find some pitching stability besides their top 2 starters. Fennell and Neto at times have been very good this year. The third they haven't found, and listen, maybe this is going a ways to doing that tonight. They're really high on Aiden Stillman, and he hadn't been out there. He didn't pitch in the fall, didn't pitch in a game until 2 weeks ago, but the fastball really plays, man. I mean, it's up to 96 tonight. His issue coming in had been the inability to throw strikes, but for the most part tonight, he's thrown strike 1, and if he gets the chase on that fastball up and out of the zone, he's going to be tough.
So his 52nd pitch of the outing now to Anthony Pack Jr. Pack laid down a single his first time up. Look at that. According to D1 Baseball, the latest projections have them right behind Michigan, second among the first 4 out. Pack's hitting over 400 in league play. Not bad for a freshman, huh?
No, and Jim Schlossinger was talking particularly about his ability to handle lefties. I mean, he's hitting 3rd against the left-hander throwing 96. And how impressed he has been with the way that Pack has handled lefties and high-end lefties, which is why they don't move him around in this lineup a whole lot. He has worked himself into right in the middle.
And Pack wears it. Third hit batter of the season for Stillman. And it brings a switch hitting shortstop Adrian Rodriguez to the plate.
I was watching that Georgia Ole Miss game earlier today. Georgia did something today offensively for the first time.
There wouldn't have been 8 home runs in a game because they've already done that this year.
It was a sack bunt. They had 0 until today.
Well, it's kind of, you know, Wes Johnson's kind of in the same boat that Tim Corbin is. Like,
yeah. You're leading the country in home runs, let him swing.
Right. Why give away an out? We could put one over the wall. Rodriguez struck out looking his first time. Rodriguez missed a couple of SEC series. He got a pin taken out of his wrist. He had to take it out after his surgery in the fall because he learned that the materials that the pin was made of he was allergic to. He couldn't swing without pain. And he was in most pain when it was a swing and a miss. It all came about after he was hit by a pitch in the Missouri series last year. And he serves one to short. And that'll close the third inning. Pardon me, the second. 4 left on through 3 for Texas. Just a 13-pitch inning for Stillman. We'll see if we'll see him for the 4th. Braden Holcomb homered already today. We'll see him next. A rude welcome to Ruger Riojas in the first inning from this Vandy offense. Mike Mancini with a double halfway up the wall and left. Brody Johnson followed the shot that would have been out of the ballpark had Aiden Robbins not gotten some leather on it. And Braden Holcomb followed up with a no-doubter.
You think you're safe on the concourse up there because it's got to go 420 feet to get to you. That one went 424 off the bat of Holcomb. First 3 hitters of the ball game, all extra base hits, all scored. Quick offensive start for Vandy.
Well, we started the broadcast by talking about Vandy needing a sense of urgency, and the offense has delivered it, and Stillman has done his job on the mound. So Holcomb, Bartsey, and Gooden do up for Vandy here. And home run was his 13th of the year. Up down to find a strike, 0-1. And he sends one through the right side. 2 for 2 tonight for Braden Holcomb.
Pretty good approach. The first time through the order, Ruger Riojas didn't drop down once. Now the second time through the order, he's done it 5 times. This time the fastball, watch it run in on the hands of Holcomb, but just simplifies right here. Nothing wrong with taking that thing and shooting it the other way. So a 2-run home run to left center the first time up, and a rocket to the backside of the field right there for a leadoff single.
Holcomb's reached base 5 times in this series already. Sets the table for Colin Bartsey. He's 2 for 5 in a game and a third so far this weekend. First pitch strike. 7 home runs, 3 of them came in the season opener against number 10 TCU, the first Commodore to do that since Connor Kaiser in 18. And it was so much fun he did it again. A 3 home run game against A&M. And he shoots this one to the gap in right center. That one is off the fence. Headed to third is Holcomb, and Bartsey just beats the throw into second. Top half of the lineup already has 5 hits for the first 5 hitters. 4 of them for extra bases.
Yeah, and they really like having him back in this lineup. Bartsey missed about half the season injury, but now back, recognizes breaking ball that looked like a curveball that just hung in there a little bit too long. And he does a very good job, and they've done a very good job of it today, of taking off speed the other way with authority. This one 97 off the bat of Bartsey. Just shy of that wall in right center field, and a quick start here in the third for Vandy's offense.
And here's Tommy Gooden. Gooden walked off Tennessee in the finale of that series when Vandy came into the bottom of the 9th inning trailing by 3, hit a walk-off grand slam. And I mentioned to Corbs during batting practice, I don't remember being at a game where a team won in that fashion. It's only happened a handful of times in Major League history. Only 6 times there's been a pinch hit, what is termed an ultimate grand slam, when you're down 3. Brian Bogusevich was the last to do it. He did it for Houston back in 11.
I just learned a new. I've never heard an ultimate grand slam before.
Yeah.
Did you just make that up?
I could have. You don't know. By the way, Bogusevich wasn't the most recent. I take that back. Daniel Vogelback did it for Milwaukee in 21. But only 6 times in Major League history in every game that's been played. And Corbs confirmed. He said, I can't remember being a part of the game where that happened either. And he's been around a minute. Yeah, ultimate grand slam, right? You need 4. I'd get 4.
Never heard it. We'll go with it.
Sophomore from Thousand Oaks, California. Out of Adolfo Camarillo. Same high school as Delman Young, who went 1-1 in the draft. Joe Borchard, the former Stanford quarterback, and our friend Jessica Mendoza.
That's some players.
And he goes down swinging at 95.
Yeah, and that's the knock on Gooden, if there is one. It is real raw power, and it's to all fields, but there's a lot of swing and miss. I mean, he's got less than 100 at bats this year, and that's his 36th strikeout already.
Yeah, if you add in the walks and the hit by pitch, that's a 34% K rate. So here's Rustin Rigdon, 0 for 1 of the ground out to short. 2 in scoring position. Whoa, Tinney had to stretch for that one.
And that's going away, especially if you're down on that one knee. Just to lay out just to make sure that ball doesn't go to the backstop. It's not an absolute run if it goes to the backstop here, because it can come back really quick.
Very little foul territory behind the plate. Tinney helped that one out. 1-1.
We saw Joe Borchard this week.
Oh, yeah? White Sox really didn't want him to play quarterback. Paid him a lot of money.
Gave him some reasons not to.
Up and in. 2-1. Rigdon's shown his defensive versatility. He was starting at second earlier this season, then they flipped him into center. Tap to the right side. Borba tosses to Riojas. It brings home a run.
A little bit surprised. I think it just shows you the confidence that Jim Schlossnagle has in his offense, but a little bit surprised you don't bring the infield in there with one out. Infield playing back, and all Rigdon really had to do was hit it on the ground past the pitcher, and Holcomb's going to score easily with that 4th run.
Number 51, Riker Waite at the plate. I asked Riker before the game today, did Corbs tell you why he gave you number 51? He said, no, I have no idea. He said, I wore number 5. Always been a single-digit guy. He goes, so that's pretty good. I got 5, and everybody likes 1. Put those 2 together. My inquiry to Corbs was dismissed as, well, you don't pick your birth date either, do you?
No, he is the number chooser. He being Tim Corbin. Was 51
Bradfield?
Okay. But I'm going back further.
Willie McGee.
Was it Bleday?
Could have been J.J. Bleday. First round pick of the Marlins. Remember when Jeter was in Hoover watching with the Marlins front office? J.J. Bleday. Pretty good pick. Popped him up. No foul ground here behind the plate, and that one will reach row 5.
So they put up on the big board before the game Jonathan Vastine. It was the reason that Riker Waite didn't play shortstop last year at his first professional home run today. Maybe yesterday.
Yeah, just got called up this morning. Number 51. That dude could hit a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Riker's looking for his first hit this weekend. Barely played last year for Vandy, and he touches this one deep to right field, packed to the wall, and it's off of his leather, and Karam's back into no man's land. Waite headed for 3rd. Second triple of the game for Vanderbilt.
This ball's hit well, but Anthony Pass got a real chance to get. He's there. It looked like earlier he took his eye off the ball just for a minute, then tried to pick it back up. And you know, again, you play in a ballpark for the first time. It's all turf, which they're used to anyway. But he's got a good 3 feet before the base of the wall. He's there in plenty of time to make the play, but just off his glove, and then Waite sees that get away. He's on to third base and attacks on another run for Vandy, which could have gotten Texas off the field.
And Corbin Reynolds starts off 0-1. Homered last night, his lone hit of the weekend. Fastball up, 1-1.
I think the one thing with Riojas tonight is he hasn't had his split. And when he's got his split and the ability to use it, he's a much different arm than tonight. That split just hasn't had the movement, the effectiveness, and it usually does.
Back-to-back fastballs, 1-2. Reynolds had a tough weekend last time out against Kentucky, 0 for 12. And chases that one for strike 3. 6 Ks for Riojas. But Vandy's barreled him a few times. They played 2 more in the 3rd. 5-0 Commodores. on Nashville's West End. Game 2 of this 3-game series between Texas and Vanderbilt. Another fantastic crowd here. Yeah, there's the terminology there. Walk-off grand slam when trailing by 3. 33 occurrences in MLB history, but only 6 by a pinch hitter.
There were pretty good odds that you made that up. At least if I were setting the odds, there was pretty good odds.
It's fair. So a pinch hitter does it. It's called a ultimate grand slam. Don't know if you knew that.
Now you are making it up.
Here's Ethan Mendoza. And he shoots it to right field. Holcomb came in and now gets back in time. Jab step was in and then hustled back, 1 down. And now Temo Becerra. And low to Becerra. Mentioned he played at Stanford. You got a chance to see a bunch of your old teammates last week.
I did. Yep. Had a memorial service for Coach Marquis this week. And there was pretty cool. Over 500 people. A lot of guys came from all over the place.
1-1 now. Did you learn any news stories about your former college coach?
Yeah, I mean, I should have known this, but I mean, he got up every morning at 6 o'clock to run every single day. I went to mass every day. I didn't know that. That was new. There were plenty of stories from all of us about numerous things that had happened when we were there, many of which Coach Marquis was unaware of. So.
How many years did he coach there?
He was at the university as a player, assistant coach, or coach for 50 years.
Wow. Full count to Becerra now. Sarah, first-generation college student for his family, and he got a Stanford degree to show for it. Now chasing more paper with Texas.
That's not a bad run there. Go get first degree at Stanford. Go get your grad degree at UT. You talked about it earlier too, though. The ability to plug him in at short when they had to, because that's primarily what he played at Stanford, was a big lift for this Texas team.
Huge strikeout for the freshman Stillman, his 6th of the game.
We've talked about it plenty, but this is the spot that Vandy has just been trying desperately to find, is that consistent third starter on the weekend, and these are really good returns right here from Stillman. He has walked 2, but that's below what his average is. He's walked over 1 an inning coming into this ball game. That fastball is really played up tonight.
And now the 7-hole hitter, Ashton Larson. And if there's a weak link in this Texas roster this year, at least recently, it's been the bottom half of the lineup. They came into this weekend really struggling. The last 2 SEC series, 5 through 9 in the order of combined to hit just 178. And that includes an 0 for 6 so far tonight, with only Becerra reaching via a walk, his first time up. And compare that to some of the other national championship contending lineups that we've seen, and not to pick on Texas fans, but just compare it to the depth of the A&M batting order.
It's a very different offense. It is that. And the flip side of that is their pitching staff is very different than A&M's top to bottom as well.
And Larson sends this one down the left field line and out of play.
But the Aggies were ready when Texas came to town a few weeks ago. A&M got a win today, even that series up in Gainesville.
They didn't play the final game of that A&M series. Got washed out after a long day at the ballpark waiting. Full count now.
70 pitches. That's the highest coming into this. Stillman had gone 52 in his longest outing. That last fastball at 96. So he hasn't lost a tick of velocity since he's been out there.
See if he can hit 96 again. Missed inside.
I think it clipped him.
Did it? It reaches regardless, either by hit by pitch or the walk. Luke Goth is warming in the Vanderbilt bullpen.
Didn't hit him.
I got to change my scorebook because I trusted you.
You've been doing this long enough. You know better than that.
I know. There's Goth getting loose. Hit batter and a couple of walks for Stillman. And now Borba is hitting .368 against lefties on the year. But struck out looking his first time up, and Tim Corbin says we're going to make a change here.
Yeah, when they go over the top railing to wait, that's when you know Tim Corbin's going to make a move. Got clearly ready to go, but still a whole lot of positive for that freshman lefty today.
And add that to the positivity for the Vandy program, which is looking for that third starter. Stillman exits with 2 outs in the 4th inning and a 5-run lead. And 2/3 innings all season coming into tonight, and his second start maybe a little bit more than Vandy could have expected. He was sensational through 3 2/3, allowed only 2 hits, struck out 6.
That fastball was real tonight from Stillman, and it's one of the reasons he throws it 65% of the time. But you know, if there's one nitpick, it's just maybe the secondary stuff has got to get a little bit tighter. Did not have control of the changeup, but the fastball, he just kind of grabbed the back of it and carried him all the way through it. So his longest outing of his young career, and now they go to Luke Goth, who's been probably one of the more reliable out of the bullpen this year. That 4.12 ERA, walk numbers are up, but that's kind of a trend with this Vanderbilt pitching staff this year. But he's still striking out over 1 per inning. Been
used in long relief the last couple of outings, 2 1/3. last weekend at Kentucky out of the bullpen. 3 innings the weekend prior against Oklahoma. 48 pitches respectively each of those last 2 outings. He worked a season high 65 pitches in Starkville back in late March. And the first offering to Borba misses inside. And now one of the differences, Borba hits 100 points lower against righties than he does lefties. Double-digit home runs. Didn't go. 2-0.
Borba may have got away with one right there. It looked like those hands may have broke. He was trying to hold up on slider down and out of the zone. That's what Guth has gone. First 2 pitches have been sliders that he missed with.
Borba couldn't hold back. 2-1.
I would think he's going to get that one again. First 2 out of the zone. Those last 2 he got swings and misses. I would think they'll force Borba to try to hold up on that one if he can.
A roller coaster ride for Borba this season. Didn't have a hit in the A&M series. Returned to good form against Alabama last week. Swing and a miss. Finish off the frame. 7th strikeout for Texas batters through 4 innings.
All sliders up to this point. Then Luke Guth comes back. Fastball that holds right at the top of the zone. Big strikeout to get Vandy off the field.
Well, Ruger Riojas' night has come to an end, and Texas goes to the bullpen. 3 innings, 8 hits, 6 of them for extra bases, but he struck out 6 and didn't walk a batter. And he gives the ball to Thomas Burns. Burns will face Will Hampton, the 9-hole hitter, to get things started. Burns enters the game, the junior right-hander from Hortonville, Wisconsin, making his 14th appearance. In 12 innings, he has struck out 25 and walked 11.
Man, giving up just 6 hits. We'll see plenty of velocity from Thomas Burns, and we saw another gem last night from a Texas left-hander who seemingly been doing that every time he's gone out so far this year, Tommy. Dylan Volandis, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it. I mean, just to start, what was good last night and what's been good for you all year, because it's been incredibly consistent?
Yeah, it's definitely just being able to command all my pitches, being able to land them in the zone early, being able to finish off batters in 1-2, 0-2, getting that ball down, especially the curveball. That's been my go-to for a while, and it's been pretty efficient. So it's been a lot of fun.
I feel like your curveball was kind of the talk of the town after last time when you told the reporters post-game that you've been throwing it since age 8. And you said, don't worry, there's no torque. I throw it like a football. So you got a ball in your hand. Can you kind of explain that grip and that delivery for us?
Yeah, for sure. So I got my sinker grip, and then I'll just kind of tuck up my knuckle all the way. And then what I think of is just get my middle finger straight over the ball and kind of toss it like a little football and just get over the top of it is what I think. And yeah, I was growing up, being able to throw when I was 8 because I'm not twisty and hurting the wrist or anything, but just being able to throw it like a football, just get on top of it, and yeah, just let the spin do the work.
Show that grip again, because it's I didn't realize you spiked it, but is that something that you've done recently, or have you spiked it kind of since you were in high school with that pitch?
My original curveball, the one I had last year too, I kind of changed the grip on it. Was more over the lace. This is what I threw since 8U. I changed it up this year though, just because I would get more spin if I got over this lace right here and went over it with Max. So definitely gets a lot more vert on it, and just better than last year's curveball.
I know you talked about your cutter last game too, kind of tinkering with it in game with Max. I mean, he's a bit of a mad scientist, isn't he? Like he gives you guys a lot of flexibility to tinker and change.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good relationship. Trust is really high for each other, so being able to communicate with what we like and what we don't like, we can easily figure out a way around it. So, yeah, the cutter, it was good. It's kind of I had a little bit of a more like slider action with it, so just kind of getting more on top of it, tighter squeeze on it. This is how I hold it right here, and just kind of, yeah, just think about getting on top of it and just throw it. Yeah, over the plate.
Hey, we just showed your numbers from last year.
Hampton sends this one deep into center, and Robbins underneath.
And obviously it was in a totally different role. I mean, you coming out of the bullpen, sometimes they would extend you a little bit. A lot of times it was at the back end of the game. Then this year, that transition to starter. There's a lot of guys that maybe move into being comfortable in the starter's role, but it doesn't happen right away. For you, what are the changes between preparation, in between games, in the role that you had last year and then the role that you've had this year?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't feel too much different. If anything, it's almost kind of easier to get a cruise in that role, because you know when you're throwing, you know what time, you know everything. You can have a plan. You can get your mind right, get the body right. I feel like out of the bullpen, it's kind of, you just got to stay ready always. But it's nice as a starter. You just kind of go out there and just get your work in and get ready for the first pitch and just throw strikes, get outs. We're pitchers, so we're out getters, and that's what I think of.
Out getters, I like that.
Yeah, I don't really think of anything different, whether it's starting or coming out of the pen. Let's just go out there and just throw strikes and get outs.
Mike Mancini at the plate. How's your German?
It's pretty good. I understand it fluently. My mom always, when I was growing up, always talked to me in German, but I would respond back in English.
So you don't think you could give us some play-by-play in German right now? Is that possible?
No, it's not possible right now. I wish.
We wouldn't know if it was right. Just right. So you know. I mean, if you just started rolling with it, we'd just shake our head and say, that sounds great.
That's very true, yeah. I mean, I can speak like 50%, but, yeah, I wouldn't be able to commentate on a – hell yeah, Burns! I wouldn't be able to commentate on a game in German, but that would be pretty cool. Maybe one day.
I mean, you could have just said that in German. That would have worked.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I wouldn't do that to you guys, though.
And it brings Brody Jackson to the plate. Also reading back about your delivery, you moved your back foot a little bit for better rhythm. The tinkering, I think, is just fascinating that, you have the ability and freedom to find what works best and what suits you best. Brody Johnson at the plate now. How do you keep from tinkering too much?
Yeah, well, I moved my front foot back a little bit, kind of because I felt like I could get more momentum to the plate, cause less like stress on the arm and the body, just kind of get some rhythm going into it. So I wanted to try out in one of my bullpens, just putting my front foot back a little bit and just kind of getting more rhythm. Caused me to throw a little bit harder, shapes to come out a little bit better. Figured why not do it and stick with it. I mean, it helps the body out, helps the pitches out. I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. 0-2 now to Brody Johnson, who is 1 for 2 in this game. Let you go in just a second after this pitch to Johnson. And a little tapper to the right side. Oh, I thought that was fair. Before we let you go, Ruger is out of the game now, but do you realize he doesn't shampoo his hair very often?
Yeah, I do realize that. I mean, I'll see him conditioning in the shower, but it's not like I don't see him with shampoo ever. So I mean, it's kind of I didn't really notice that until this year though, and when he brought it up and started talking about it more. But yeah, I mean, he's got some good flow. He takes some care of it still. I mean, it's not like he's not doing anything, but yeah, he does not do that, and it's kind of a funny joke now.
Whatever works. Hey, you got a bunch of good flow there in the entire rotation. The pitching staff has been fantastic. Congratulations on last night. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Appreciate you, man. So much. Yeah, thank you all for your time. Thank you.
It's Dylan Valantis from closer to starter and part of one of the best rotations in all of college baseball. 0-2 to Brody Johnston. And Burns slow played that one, but misses low at 98.
Yeah, that's the only thing that Burns does slow, because from a velo standpoint, I mean, he's already bumped to 99 today. He can run it up there. Did throw a third of an inning last night, faced just one hitter and struck him out.
Johnson's got a triple to his name, 1 for 2. You know, I got a lot of dumb questions stored up that I could have gone with to Valantis. He played water polo growing up in Southern California, and I was just kind of curious if there was a comparison, water polo to baseball. He wears number 99 now, and I was about to ask him what number he wore in water polo.
They have water polo. They put the numbers on your little hat things, don't they?
And 99 would be big. Did they put him on the swim cap?
I think so.
Swing and a miss to take care of Johnston, and Burns puts him down in order. Thanks 99 for hanging with us. We go to the 5th inning. Vanderbilt leads Texas 5-0. Burns likes it. Valantis likes it a little bit better. If I knew German, I'd add.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
From Music City, USA, game 2 of this 3-game series. Texas projected as a number 3 national seed. UCLA lost midweek to UCSB last week, and Presumed #1 seed is playing Sacramento State this weekend.
Yeah, they had to sneak one out last night, game 1.
Hornets had them on the ropes, huh?
Yeah.
101. Tommy Nicholson, former Texas infielder, still coaching at Sac State?
I believe he is. Yeah, he was assistant at Stanford for a while too. Sac State went down to LSU this year, won 2 out of 3.
1-1 pitch. You saw LSU in person last weekend, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough sledding in Baton Rouge right now. They lost another heartbreaker last night.
Livingston 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. And Luke Goth's K both batters he's faced. Longhorns have now struck out 8 times tonight.
Yeah, it's been on that same pitch too. It's been slider early and then elevated fastball to get the 2 swings and misses for Vandy. Plenty of swing and miss tonight. This one probably up and out of the zone, and Livingston couldn't hold on.
Tommy Nicholson, now the head coach at UC Davis. Horns open the year.
You're in the right area.
Yeah, close enough. And here's Aiden Robbins. Ball and a strike to Robbins. See, Nick helped Texas make it to the College World Series as a junior. He was an assistant for a couple of years. He was also a world-renowned online poker player.
Really?
Yeah. Back when it was legal. I just want to throw that caveat in there. Here's the 1-2. And Robbins lines it foul.
Kind of. You just get the UC Davis compliance department running all over until you drop that last part.
Tommy Nicholson played for Wally Backman in the minor leagues. And Wally begged to stay in a poker game in the back of the team bus on a road trip to Wilmington, Delaware, except Wally was out of money. And Tommy said, I'll let you stay in the pot. You just got to throw in an off day for me after this 10-hour bus ride. Guess who didn't have to show up to the ballpark until 6 p.m. the next day?
I'll see you right before game time tomorrow. Welcome to the minor leagues.
A couple of flyouts for Robbins after a pair of home runs last night. Luke Guth's got his good stuff tonight. 3 straight Ks. Well, Dylan Valantis, water polo player. They're the numbers.
See,
right
it's
there.
It's on the what are they? The hat, polo hat deals. It's like the ear guards.
I'm guessing there's not much water polo in your background, huh?
No.
We just busted the budget on our graphics department as they went and found that one for us.
Well done.
Carson Tenney 1 for 2.
Luke Gus got the invisible going tonight with that fastball. All 3 strikeouts have been on the fastball. The last one down and out of the zone. It just shows you, man, location and the ability to change speeds. You don't have to go out there and throw 98. He's 90 to 92 and getting a bunch of swing and miss.
Tenney hit 400 in the Bama series last week, and he sends a line drive into left field for a 2-out knock here. That's his 2nd hit of the game. They've had some really good catchers in recent history at Texas, and those that have been around the program think that Carson Tenney could be the best defensive catcher they've had there in some time.
He shows you everything you want to see. The other thing against Tenney this year, they don't run against him. I mean, there has been 15 stolen base attempts against Carson Tenney the entire year when he's catching.
We'll put that in comparison. There's been 42 attempts against Vandy's Corbin Reynolds. Nothing in one to Pack. Single and a hit by pitch. And hot shot off the mound right to Reichert Wade. No runs a hit, one left on, 6 stranded for Texas, which has not been shut out all season. Well, let's take a spin around the country for the greatest show on dirt. How about the Huskers?
Big Red swept the Trojans last weekend. They are squarely in the host discussion right now. 8 stolen bases in an inning. Is that good? Is that what you're looking for?
Not if you're a catcher, but Boston College flying around. And a school record home runs in a game for Georgia. A football win. First game of their series last week against Arkansas.
15 home runs in that series for Georgia against Arkansas. When the previous weekend they didn't hit any against Florida.
Leading the nation in long balls. By the way, Rock and Roll Marathon this morning in Nashville. 25,000 runners for the marathon and half marathon, including our buddy Josh Foster on the Vandy staff.
Yeah, that's a full day for Josh.
It is.
Get up this morning.
There he is.
Run 26 miles. Apparently mile 22 was directly uphill. Josh was not excited about that when we talked to him.
I said, really, a marathon? Is that your first? And the 2-word response, and last. Here's Braden Holcomb. Yeah, Josh failed to do any recon. He said, I didn't even know where the marathon started until I got the notice this morning. Holcomb's got a couple of hits. What would it take for you to run a marathon? Because he just decided to do it. Like, why not?
Yeah, and then during the course of the conversation, he's like, yeah, you know, and I do halves a fair amount. I don't think there's anything that you could do, Tom, that would get me to run a marathon. Nothing.
Well, for those that didn't participate, they say Holcomb committed to it, and that's a 3rd consecutive strikeout for Thomas Burns.
Yeah, that's far enough. I didn't think when we ran at full speed the first time, but that's far enough. Thomas Burns feeling pretty good out there so far. Punched out the last 3, and it's a 1-2-3 order hitters in this Vandy lineup. What about you?
No, won't happen, but I just wanted to follow up. You didn't run the marathon or the half marathon this morning. How many miles do you think you put in at the Nashville Zoo?
We got some steps in today. Yeah,
illustrious producer Billy Palladino.
Yeah, we had to go check the zoo out for a couple hours. They got rhinos there. Komodo dragon.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Good touch.
How many zoos have you been to? I know you've been to the Omaha Zoo.
San Diego Zoo.
That's a good. That's maybe the best.
San Diego Zoo. Now the Nashville Zoo.
You could have gone to the Baton Rouge Zoo. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I'm going to start the zoo kick now. I think I got the bug today. It's a good way to kill a couple of hours in the morning. You come back smelling like a petting zoo, but other than that, it's
a nice way to put it. I thought that was new mulch at the hotel. Turns out it was you and Billy. 1-2 now to Colin Bardsey. What stood out? What was your favorite enclosure?
The rhino thing was cool. There was a baby leopard.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? Month-old leopard. And a full-size leopard that looked unhappy that the baby leopard wasn't there.
Did you feed the giraffe?
No. You can do that in Omaha, though.
Well out of play. Back to the street.
You're invited. Come check it out next time.
Sure. Yeah. You know, if we didn't have a day game tomorrow, I'd be there.
I got a Starkville for 3 in a couple of weeks. I have a feeling the Starkville Zoo would look a little bit different. I think the Starkville Zoo. Catfish pond.
Catfish pond. Two and two. We got 3 games in Starkville.
Yeah.
Just a bit outside. I could take you to Dave's Dark Horse Tavern. Comes highly recommended. The pizza's pretty good. And there's a zoo across the street at the Red Roof Inn. Full count now. If you could have taken home any animal from the zoo, which would it have been? Baby leopard taken off the board.
The meerkat.
They are shady. Here's Becerra. Always standing, watching guard like they're doing something illegal. 5 straight retired by Thomas Burns. Can't just take one meerkat. You got to take a few.
I only saw one in there. Standing up on his 2 legs, eyeing Billy P.
By himself?
Yeah.
He won with a pride or whatever you call it, a group of
I don't think they call it that.
meerkats? Here's Tommy Gooden. Senior prank back when I was in high school. We went out in the spring and we absconded with a handful of piglets from the local petting zoo to grease up and let them out during school the next day. Poor planning, though. We kept them in Travis's shed on an unseasonably warm spring day. They didn't exactly have the energy to run around the school grounds. And we slid them outside of the gym into the common area, and all they did was slide across the tile and settle underneath a couple of benches.
Kind of kills your plan, doesn't it?
Did not have the result we expected. Sorry, Maplewood Barn. The piglets got returned, though. Swing and a miss for Burns. More zoo talk promised as we head to the 6th. Hasn't been shut out since May of last year, and Arkansas did it to him. Only 3 hits for the Longhorns tonight. And Ruger Riojas, their starter, allowed 3 runs in the first inning. It's been all Vanderbilt tonight.
Yeah, 2 of those hits came in the first inning. Tinney's double. Packfink followed with a single. Been a lot of swing and miss, though. 8 of the 9 in this Texas lineup have struck out tonight. Riojas was going so well early in the season. Now 3 of his last 4 starts, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and now tonight, have not been great.
First pitch strike to Adrian Rodriguez. Luke Guth's got it working.
He's leaned on that slider early to get to 2-strike count. Then he's finished a lot of guys with that fastball.
Misses up and away. Lefty's hitting only .222 against his fastball this year. Thought that was it. Different pitch, same spot.
Yeah, trying to backdoor that breaking ball right there, and it just didn't quite get there. Corbin Reynolds, the catcher, was waiting for it too, just to see if it could clip the outside part. Now 0-2 to 3-2. Rodriguez has worked it back to a full count.
Well, Connor Fennell struggled as a starter last night for Vandy. 9 earned, 12 hits over 5 innings, but the bullpen needed only 3 pitchers when Fennell was able to go 5. Nate Taylor, Tristan Bristow, and Jacob Faulkner finished it off for Vandy. And Texas used its closer, Sam Kozar, for the final 2. There's a swing and a miss.
I said both of them going tonight. This is sliders down and out of the zone. And again, you don't see Texas go out of the zone a whole lot, but Rodriguez does right there. Luke Guth has been outstanding since coming out of the bullpen.
Here's how it breaks down for Vanderbilt. RPI sitting at 71, 2-10 against top 25 opponents. Second among the first 4 out behind Michigan. When you play in the SEC, plenty of opportunities still in front of Vanderbilt. And they close the bottom 2 teams in the league, South Carolina and Missouri. And then, of course, Hoover, where Vanderbilt has had a ton of success, won it all last year. Little English on this one on the bounce. Throw over to first, takes care of Mendoza. This one made a right-hand turn, then a left-hand turn before Riker Waite got to it.
Yeah, and you'll get more of this on turf, because that second spin, a lot of times, watch how it shoots glove side right there, and Riker Waite has to kind of change his approach. Spits more to his glove side, then he gets around it, gives him momentum to throw, and ends up throwing him out by a good step or 2.
It's only the second ground ball out for the Vandy pitching staff tonight. In for a strike to Becerra. Luke Guth hasn't allowed a hit on his slider to right-hander all season.
But he will get a fair amount of chase out of it too. This was a slider, and I think that was the right call. Becerra looked like he held those hands up just in time.
1-2.
Yeah, you know it's working, and guys aren't comfortable with it when a patient offensive team like Texas is going out of the zone to swing, and they have gone out of the zone against that slider a fair amount.
Back to the slider here.
That's the one he likes the best.
I asked Scott Brown before the game when it comes to pitch calling, how often do you vary from what might be expected? He said not as much as you would think. A lot of times it's mano-y-mano. If they can't hit what we got, we're going to keep throwing it. To third. Johnston. 1-2-3 frame work by Luke Guth. He's been fantastic out of the bullpen. From Nashville, we roll on to the bottom of the 6th. Get back to the first inning, still daylight, and Vandy took full advantage. They saw Ruger Riojas really well. Double, triple home run to start the game against Ruger Riojas. And then in the third, back to it. After a Braden Holcomb shot, Colin Bartsey put one off the glove of Anthony Packin Wright for a 3-base hit. And Vandy, a couple of crooked innings, a 5-0 lead. That was Riker Waite with the run scoring triple in the highlight package. He's due up second this inning. And here's Rustin Rigdon.
Thomas Burns not afraid to use all that pitch clock too. He lets it run all the way down. Fastball since he's come in has been as high as 99, but he's 95 to 98 pretty much all the way through.
Rigdon to right. Robbins comes into the gap. One down. What's the benefit for Burns to be so deliberate and using so much of the pitch clock?
I think it's no different than if there's a runner on first base to some extent, to where, you know, hitters like to be in a routine as well, to where they get up, they feel like the pacing's the exact same, they're comfortable in the box. And if you're varying look times to go home, and a hitter has to stand there and feel somewhat uncomfortable not knowing when you're coming home, then maybe you can get their timing off a little bit. It's worked so far. He's retired all 7 that he's faced since coming in.
So here's Riker Waite. Has that triple to his name tonight. And against the shift shows bunt. Coming into this weekend, Waite top 10 in the country in defensive runs saved among shortstops. He's taken over for a great one in Jonathan Vastine.
He's made just 3 errors, and this is, you know, his first year playing, well, not playing the position, but starting at the position at the collegiate level.
And he drops that one into right where the shortstop would have been. Second hit of the game.
Not all created the same, but you get 3 infielders on the right side. This works fine. That's 64 off the grip right there, but plenty good enough to end up on first base.
Corbin Reynolds trying to break out of a slump. 1 for his last 16 in league play. The proverbial freshman wall for the first-year backstop from Clarksville, Tennessee.
It was not expected to catch nearly as much. With the Bartsey injury, then it was Reynolds that shouldered the vast majority of the low back behind home plate. So it's 1 is the amount that he's played, but 2, the position that he has played it at.
And the struggles against league pitching actually go back a series before. He only has 2 hits in his last 25 SEC at bats. And 2 hits against non-conference opponents in the midweek Senate span. One of them a home run. In for a strike.
Well, you talked last night. We've talked plenty about Tenney, but that's stealing one right there. That's what he is so good at, is taking that pitch that was probably down, but he starts below it, and that glove is moving back up when he catches it. So it just presents really well to the home plate umpire.
And that does not come without practice and planning. Tenney was asked about framing pitches. He said, my goal is just to let the ball travel to me and kind of work through it and try to move the pitch to the zone. The quote was, I like to think of it almost like a train station. It's on the same route, but it's going to have different stops along the way. Does the zoo have a train?
No.
That's a shame.
Zip line.
All right. Did you do the zip line?
No.
Of course not. Texas came here for the first time in 1903. Brought the train up from Baton Rouge to Memphis and then scooted over to Nashville. 96 on the black. 5th K for Burns, season high.
But he catches 96 so easily. That's the guys that are the best at framing get underneath a low fastball, get above a high fastball, get outside of a fastball that's on the outside part of the plate. So all the glove movement is coming back in towards the plate. It's not jerky to where you go get it and then pull it all the way back. It's a subtle movement, but it's done really well by Tenney.
Will Hampton, how much of that is reaction and how much of it is knowing your pitcher's shape?
Well, a lot of it is knowing the pitcher's shape, but it's also if the pitcher's missing on the right side. I mean, if you got to reach all the way across the plate to go get it, you don't have the ability to steal as many.
Runner on the move. Tenney's throw is high and will carry into center field. Breaking for third is Waite. And he's there after Robbins had to load up. First error of the season charged to the Longhorn catcher Carson Tenney.
Yeah, they've tested him a little bit too. This is second stolen base by Vanderbilt tonight. And it was on a ball that's actually a pretty good one for Tenney to throw. It's that high glove side so he can work his body all the way through it. Just airmailed this one. Good heads up base run too. Rocket Wade doesn't even look. The minute that he saw that ball sail into center field, he was off and headed towards third.
And a pitch clock issue for, pardon me, a pitch comm issue. Tenney able to buy his pitcher some time. No time charged. (2-0) to Will Hampton. Fights that one off to second. Mendoza to close the inning. No runs to hit, 1 left on. Ahead of the 7th, Texas looking for offense.
The ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Vandy goes to the bullpen for the second time in this game. They pitched a shutout so far, and the freshman right-hander from Huntersville, North Carolina, Tyler Baird, follows Luke Guth. Baird 0-2 on the record, 5.28 ERA, 36 strikeouts and 30 2/3.
Well, he does have 4 saves, and if Baird comes in now, and I know we're only in the 7th, he's coming in this ballgame with the intent of Baird finishing it. Many of those save opportunities have not been 3-out saves, so he has the ability to go the final 9 outs. I would think that's the plan for Vandy.
Trio of starts for Baird early in the season, most recently coming at Mississippi State on March 22nd when he struggled, didn't record an out, and he's lived in the bullpen since. Bookended the Kentucky series with a couple of appearances, and in game 1 of that series gave up a grand slam to lose it. It was a 5-2 Kentucky win. Then he came back out and threw 29 pitches 2 days later. Ashton Larson at the plate. And Larson shoots it to center. One down. Around the SEC tonight, a lot of ranked matchups. Georgia and Ole Miss in extras in game 2 after the Rebels came fighting back to win game number 1 in a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, Rebels got 2 in the 9th to take the nightcap to extra innings. Aiden King was great in the opener for Florida. A&M even that series up.
So they got the rubber game tomorrow. That one on TV?
I don't know. Dave Neal and Berkey were down there today. I know that.
Good to see Dave took time out from cleaning his gutters. Here's Casey Borba. You didn't respond to that video in the group chat yesterday.
No.
A little too lowbrow for you?
Nah, it's just
let the kids have their fun.
A lot of copy on the group chat sometimes.
Oh, copy. Very nice of you not to opt out
yet.
Upstairs to Borba.
96. Baird right there. It's at low 3/4 arm action that when he gets through it has real good arm side movement. So the fastball, when he wants to, he can really run in on the hands of the right-handed hitters. Like that. Home plate 17 inches wide. That last pitch had 19 inches of arm side movement. So literally move the entire width of the plate. Watch that late action just boring in and up on the hands of Borba. He's now struck out 3 times today, that time on 94 up and out of the zone.
First trip through the order, Texas had a couple of hits and a walk. Second time through, a hit by pitch and a walk. Livingston will complete the third trip through the order. And they have 1 single the third time through. 1-1. Fastball inside. Livingston got 1 start last week against Alabama. That was as the DH. He went 0 for 3 in that game. DHing again tonight.
A change up there. Same type of movement away. Velocity difference 5 to 7 mile/hour less than the fastball. Barrett has been efficient so far in this inning.
Only 3 hits in this game for Texas. That is a foul ball. Gooden went prone for it. They had a season low 2 hits the Longhorns did against Tarleton State, and 3 hits twice against Auburn and Houston. This comes a day after 11 runs on 14 hits last night.
2 Aiden Robbins home runs.
Two from Baird. Stillman started. Guth was fantastic. 2 1/3 scoreless in relief.
Good take on the changeup that he swung through early in this at bat. This ball just keep falling away from a left-hander, and Corbin Reynolds went out and tried to frame it up, but that missed by a good 6 inches off.
1-2-3 framework by Baird with a couple of strikeouts. Vandy's pitching staff is looking like Vandy boys of old.
Yeah, you come in, start pounding a strike zone like Baird does right there. It's an efficient 1-2-3. Punched out the last 2. Vandy pitchers have set down the last 6 in a row.
Vanderbilt can hold on to this lead and this pitching dominance, now all of a sudden you start to pivot. If you had doubts about how you feel about Vanderbilt extending its postseason run and being able to make some noise.
This is the only question. The question has been this off kind of the day 2 or 3 during the SEC season and just the ability to get through it without needing to score 10 runs. This is as good as they've done it all year. They've thrown a ton of strikes. They got 4 innings out of Stillman, and the bullpen's been great.
This is Mike Mancini, who is 1 for 3 and drops a bunt down in front of third. On the run, Becerra way late, and Mancini executes it perfectly for a bunt single, his second hit of the game.
What I've loved about Mancini this year is the power numbers have been up. He's got 13 home runs, 10 of those have come, 9 of those have come in SEC play, but he's still not afraid to do this. He's still a leadoff hitter. And if they give you a chance, and this is perfectly placed, probably one that Becerra should have put in his pocket, because he was playing not in on the grass, but he was playing at least even right there. It was just perfectly placed by Mancini to get a leadoff man on.
Two-hole hitter Brody Johnston. Sky high to right. One down. Top 15 showdown. Number 14 Oklahoma knocked off number 11 Auburn 2-1.
That evens that series.
Auburn held to just 5 hits. It is a dogfight.
Yeah. It is snug, and it felt like this early that this wasn't going to. I mean, Texas went 22-8 last year. I think they won the league by 2 games, and they started 19-2. They just ran away and hit. A little bit different story this year.
Half the league separated by just 3 games at the top. 2 for 3 night for Braden Holcomb. And Georgia in danger of dropping a pair today. Bottom of the 10th, Ole Miss batting in a tie game. Maybe by rule on double-decker weekend they have to play a doubleheader. New rule?
Be all in for that. Doesn't feel like Mancini's going to stay put. 12 of 12 this year in stolen bases.
There he goes. Tinney's throw is late, and Mancini drops anchor.
And he got the right one to go on too. They got a split, so it takes a little bit longer for that to go to home plate. Mancini takes that lead, and he's all the way on that front foot. Look at him leaning on that front foot. Gets a great break, doesn't even peek. Just puts his head down, head first, slide in. Mancini now 13 of 13 in stolen bases this year.
One to Holcomb.
I thought it was interesting. We were talking to Tim Corbin early just about this offense and their ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. They've always been incredibly aggressive on the base pass, and they still are going first to third in other ways. But they haven't run as much as we've seen Vanderbilt teams in the past. Some is just who you have. If the personnel doesn't lend itself to running, but it is a different approach.
Well, this offense has matured at the right time. The field dimensions changed this season. They're building a new pavilion in right field, so due to construction they've moved that right field fence in about 10 feet. And it was a topic of conversation with the Texas staff throughout the day and yesterday, the way the ball was flying out of here, both during batting practice and during the game last night. Not so much against the Vandy pitching in this game.
No. This place has never played big, especially the left. But it's with that fence coming in 10 feet and for a pretty good chunk of it going out to right center field. It is a very offensive ballpark, especially on nights where that wind's not blowing in.
And Jim Schlossnagle will make a trip to the mound. Thomas Burns sitting at 47 pitches in relief. And that'll be end of the line for Burns with Bartsey due up. 2 on and 1 out for Vanderbilt. More college baseball next Saturday. It's a top 25 showdown. Number 21 Florida against 14th ranked Oklahoma. 7 Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Thomas Burns gave him 3 1/3. Struck out 5 and walked 1. Only allowed 2 hits. And he leaves with runners at first and second. And he leaves the game for the flame-throwing right-hander Jason Flores.
Flores on for the 7th time this year. Not very often you see a guy trot out of the bullpen, and the first pitch he throws in warm-ups is 98. That was what you got right here from Flores. Limited time in those 6 previous appearances. 2 of them were starts. That was 99. 98, 99. Just getting loose out there before we get going.
Hasn't pitched since April 2nd. And Callum Bartsey is 1 for 3. Use an offensive timeout here. So the new hitting coach has paid off for Vandy, huh?
Yeah, that's been one of the biggest additions. Jason Esposito's had such a good offensive career here when he played for Tim Corbin, came back from the pro ranks to take over this offense, particularly on the hitting side this year, and it is paid dividends.
Came from the Guardians, left the Guardians in June. Was a hitting coach at Mahoning Valley in 18 and a couple of seasons as a hitting coach at AAA Columbus. First pitch swinging, hot shot.
Well done.
And off of the heel of the glove of Borbert. First play at the plate is late, and Vanderbilt scratches out a run on an infield ground out. What could have been an ending double play. Sensational hustle by Mike Mancini.
Yeah, this is, I mean, aside from the throw, this is pretty good to start. I mean, watch Mendoza has to give ground just right at the last minute, try to get a little bit of extra time, and he gets it to Rodriguez enough time to turn that double play. But look at the slide by Mancini. Watch how far he makes the catcher go. Tinney has to reach all the way across. That was outstanding heads-up base running and a great slide to finish it off by Mancini.
And Tommy Gooden slaps the first pitch the opposite way. His second hit of the game.
By the way, he was just getting loose when he went out there and was throwing 98, 99. The last two pitches at 100, both pretty solid contact by Vandy. That was 108 off the bat right there by Gooden. The backside ground ball keeps this inning going for Vandy.
Gooden will be lifted for a pinch runner. Cage Sears enters. So we'll have a change at first base for the late innings. This is Rustin Rigdon. Texas comes into this game 31-8, fourth-ranked team in the country. And coming off of a series win against Alabama, where Jim Schlossnagle was disappointed they didn't get the sweep. The offense kind of disappeared in Game 3. That followed a two-game sweep at the hands of the Aggies in College Station. And going back a couple of weeks, what Schlossnagle had said kind of intimated they're just treading water, trying to get through some injuries. He said our goal is to be playing our best baseball at the end of the season. And as well as the pitching staff has thrown over the course of the year, Tinney runs out of room, that there's still room for upside for this Texas team.
They've been pretty consistent this year. I mean, you take College Station out of it, where kind of got knocked around for 2 days, but aside from that, this has been a very consistent Longhorn approach the whole year. You've been in the top 5 essentially the entire season.
Out of play by Rigdon, who's hitless tonight. Had 3 hits in the Kentucky series, went 3 for 10. All 3 of those hits were singles. He also drew 3 walks. And a dead ball. Load the bases for Vandy on the hit by pitch. Missouri won tonight against Arkansas. Just the 4th league win for Missouri, and if my math is correct, that's their first home conference win in the last 2 seasons.
Definitely didn't have one last year.
No, because they swept A&M for their only 3 wins. Kept A&M out of the tournament. Arkansas held to 5 hits in Como tonight. Did you see in the midweek Carl Edwards threw out the first pitch? Former NASCAR driver.
I didn't see it.
His form was impeccable. I mean, it was amazing. But the highlight was the midweek jerseys Mizzou wore just said Como.
Got to get the home field apparel guys to get those. You make it a pullover, and then you're all in on that one.
Yeah. Max Weiner made the visit to the mound to have a quick word with Flores. They're loaded for Riker Waite. Just below the knees for a strike. Waite is 3 for 8 with the bases loaded this year. That stung a little.
Yeah, 2 straight cutters. That last one is just hunting the handle of that left-handed bat. It makes me laugh still sometimes. We come in, Jason Flores comes trotting out. He's been in 6 baseball games this year for Texas, and he's throwing 100 with 92-mile-an-hour cutters.
Oh, what a pickup by Tinney.
That was crazy good. That was crazy good.
You could ride this guy to a Stanley Cup title.
But this is behind the hitter, and the only thing he can do is just dive, throw that glove out there, and I think pops up and looks at the base runner right away.
1-2 to wait with the bases loaded. To the right side, Mendoza. And that'll get Texas out of it. Longhorns begging for some offense. So at the top of the order, due up in the top of the 8th. Robbins, Tinney, and Pack. Best conference tournament all of college baseball.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Let's get to Hoover.
Well, Texas has won 5 of its 6 SEC series this week. Somebody will take home the hardware in Hoover. Last 4 have been won by either Tennessee or Vanderbilt. Action begins May 19th on the SEC Network. First pitch strike to Aiden Robbins. Max Jensen is the new Vanderbilt first baseman.
Well, it feels like if Texas is going to get it going, it's got to be right now. You got top of the order coming up. Baird is out there to try to finish this one out.
Here's Jensen. 2 pitches into the game. He handles it. What are the odds?
Ball seems to find you.
This is Carson Tinney. The big portal pickups coming out of Notre Dame. Notre Dame knocked off Boston College last night, right?
They did. The Eagles evened that one up today. Boston College, one of the really good stories this year in the ACC. They're had a chance to have a double bye in that ACC tournament.
Tinney was a finalist for the Buster Posey Award last year as the best catcher in college baseball. Baseball America had him a first-team All-America, first-team ACC. Year after he battled injuries, almost got him in the elbow pad. Four hits and 7 at-bats this weekend. He looks at 94, taking all the way 3-1. Fought it off foul. Payoff to Tenney. Oh no! Gosh, hit him, and he
opened up.
Nearly swung at it, which would have been strike 3, despite getting hit.
Yeah, watch that front side open up, and this is part of the run on that two-seam fastball that Tyler Barrett has. It's just going to keep on coming, and that, I mean, I got him right in the ribs. Ugh.
Did you see Logan Gilbert for the Mariners catch the ball in his jersey the other day?
Yeah. Yeah, Carson Tenney's wishing that's where it would have hit him instead of right in one of those ribs.
The ball that caught Gilbert, by the way, it's ruled a hit if you use any equipment to catch it besides your glove or your hand. It was hit by Carlos Cortez. Remember the former South Carolina virtuoso, who throws with either hand depending on if he's playing the outfield or the infield. Change of speeds, 1-1.
Did not know he was in the big leagues.
Soft line drive goes for a knock for Pack. That's his second hit.
All right, now a little bit of life to this Texas offense. I mean, they haven't scored, but they haven't had too many guys at second base. There's just the second base runner they've had at second base all night.
So 2 aboard with 1 down for Adrian Rodriguez. First home run of the season came last night.
Yeah, it's good to see him healthy because it wasn't swings like this when that hand was bothering him so much. And this Texas staff talks about when he is right and when everything is there is real juice in this bat. He showed you going out dead central last night. If he could do it again, it'd make it a 3-run lead.
Only 2 hits for Texas outside of the first inning. Rodriguez showed good power last year. The carryover after the hit by pitch from last season, required surgery in the fall. Complications from the staple that was in his hand cost him a couple of SEC series, and the pain cost him power leading into that. Liner up the middle, turns into a double play. Number 51.
Yeah, it's that kind of offensive night for Texas. And it played perfectly up the middle. Riker Wigg shade in the middle of the field, and just nothing you can do right here. Even if you freeze, he's going to double you up. Tenney doubled off, and the chance for the Horns to get on the board goes to the wayside.
Headline says SEC dominance. The last 6 national champions have come from the Southeastern Conference. They've had at least one team in the final 16 of the last 17 seasons. And the Golden Spikes Award winners come from the league each of the last 3 years.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty consistent for the boys from the SEC. Longest active regional streaks we talk about with Vandy, Florida very safe. LSU not. LSU is in trouble. Lost the opener. They were down again today. Oklahoma State's got some work to do, and so does Dallas Baptist. You could have 4 of the 5 that were on that list theoretically miss the postseason.
To third. Last time the defending national champ missed the postseason was after Ole Miss won it all.
Ooh, LSU actually up tonight, 7-2 at Mississippi State. They need wins badly right now.
Got walked off last night. After waiting through the rain, and snapped a 6-game home losing streak for Mississippi State. Kevin Maluski with a walk-off home run in the 11th. And
check that. State's come back to tie it. Yes.
That was fast. A 5-run 7th will do that. They're now in the bottom of the 8th in Starkville. You think the crowd's into it tonight?
Oh, they are now. Crowd doesn't care what LSU's record is. They just care that LSU is in Starkville.
All right, throwing Jason Flores worked his way out of a bases loaded jam in the 7th. And he gloves the comebacker. Takes it 2/3 of the way himself. 2 down.
Oh, Rios got knocked around the time he was out there, but the bullpen for Texas has been great again. Burns was outstanding, set down the first 6 that he faced, and some of the same from Flores since he's come in.
And Jim Schlossnagle will have Sam Cozart available again tomorrow. He probably would have been available tonight after throwing 25 pitches to close it out last night. Texas has won 7 of its 8 series against unranked opponents since joining the SEC. Only mark against them was a series loss to Florida, an unranked Florida team last year.
It's pretty impressive what Jim Schlossnagle's been able to do since he's come to the SEC. At A&M there 3 years, took him to Omaha twice. Last year Texas wins the league in their first year. There are some really good coaches in this league, but nobody has won more series since Jim Schlossnagle became a head coach in the SEC than that man.
Three and 1. To Mike Mancini. They vacate the left side again. He already has a bunt for a base hit. And Mancini will trot down to first. Runner on the move. Tinney's throw comes in on a short hop, and Mancini's got another bag. 14 for 14.
Yeah, we talked earlier that they just hadn't run on Tinney a lot this year. Vanderbilt has been aggressive, especially Mancini when he gets out there. That time wasted no time. His last time out, waited for the next hitter to take off. This time didn't wait a pitch. And an elevated fastball and steals that one easily.
Upstairs with 96, 2-0. And a visit.
That's become the Texas way since Max Wiener got there. Whether it's your starting pitcher before the game or a guy warming up, everybody else gets around him, firing stuff back at him. It's Cody Howard, the right-hander, up and thrown. That's just 2 appearances this year.
By the way, peel back the curtain. It's also how we treat our producer, Billy Palladino, during production meetings.
Yeah. Positive feedback.
Yeah.
Constructive criticism.
You can do it. You're going to produce the best game ever tonight. It's a 2-0 to Johnston and a throw over. The Red Sox cleaned house today. Chad Tracy, who played his college ball at East Carolina, was the manager at AAA. He's the new Red Sox interim manager.
Pardon me?
They let go 5 members of the big league staff, including manager Alex Cora.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had not heard that.
Even demoted Jason Varitek.
Scored 17 runs today.
Yeah, and Garrett Crochet finally had a great outing. Won 17-1. Sharply hit to first. And last chance for the Longhorns. We head to the 9th. 6-0. 5, 6, and 7 due up for UT. Well, Vanderbilt is 3 outs away from evening this series at 1 win apiece, and then tomorrow would go in an opportunity against a series win against a top 5 opponent. Last SEC shutout for Vanderbilt came last April against Florida. Tyler Baird trying to close the door here. Well, Tim Corbin said before the game, As far as the pitching concerned, it's really all hands on deck, and Aiden Stillman threw 3 2/3 shutout to start this thing. Gave him a good head start after the 3-run first, and all Vandy tonight. And the bottom half of the order continues to struggle. Well, everybody in the order for Texas today. And that is the first hit for the bottom half of the order for the Longhorns as Ethan Mendoza bounces one up the middle. And that'll bring Temo Becerra up.
Oh, you've talked about it too. This has been the challenge with this Texas offense lately, is that so much of the production is coming from the top 4 or 5 in the order, and the depth of that lineup just has not been as consistent as it was earlier in the year.
Sarah looks at a strike. Becerra and Mendoza are the only 2 batters to lead off an inning by reaching base for the Longhorns tonight, as Becerra drew a walk to start the second. Off the tape, little flare to second for out number 1. So if this holds, it'll be a rubber game tomorrow to close the series. Harrison versus Neto.
Yeah, Neto's had his moments. His first SEC start against LSU, he was outstanding. Hadn't been quite as good since then. Harrison, the veteran left-hander for Texas, a mainstay in this starting rotation.
This is Larson. Texas is just 2 for 12 tonight with runners on base.
There hadn't been a lot of hard outs either. I mean, it's this Vandy pitching staff has handled their lineup tonight. For Vandy, if they can hold on to win, it's one thing to win a game, especially against a top 5 team in the country, but the other is the way that they've been able to do it tonight, which has not been something they've done with great frequency during the SEC season, and that's what you can really build on tonight. You're going to go out and shut everybody out, but with his offense, if you give up 4, 5, 6, you got a real chance.
2-1 now to Larson. Out of play. .87 ERA in SEC games.
Yeah, and I don't know what the number is when Fennell and Neto don't start, but I can tell you there's a lot more than that.
Two to Larson with a runner on. Vandy's staff has K'd 12 this evening. Pretty good pitching outing for a staff that had TBA.
Well, they threw a lot of strikes. I mean, Stillman walked 3 guys when he was in there, but aside from that, they've thrown a ton of strikes. I don't think they walked anybody after that. They hit one.
And Larson caught looking. Strikeout number 13 for the Vandy staff.
Baird had been running that fastball up to the last few times that Larson was able to foul off. This time drops the breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Ashton Larson just couldn't pull the trigger.
Might need another clip because Casey Borba's got a hat trick tonight. You know, that's the first set of Ks. Been a lot of ballparks, Kyle. Runner goes, defensive indifference. First set of Ks I've ever seen that are attached from the bottom and not the top.
It works, though. It's because they laminated them.
Yeah. You got anything laminated over there?
Nope.
.51 strikeouts on the season for Borba.
Let's see, Tyler Baird's getting pretty comfortable in this bullpen role that he's in now, too. Because of that length earlier in the season, you could do what they did tonight. Bring him into the 7th and tell everybody else to sit down. It's his ballgame to finish.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and Vandy gets the win, and they get it by a shutout. 6-0 the final here in the second game of this series. It's the first shutout against an SEC opponent since Hoover last year, in a dominating game against Tennessee in a run rule 10-0 victory. We'll have the finale tomorrow, 1 Eastern, noon Central.
Pretty loud response from the Vandy boys tonight. The offense got going. First 3 guys scored. At that point, you didn't know that would be enough, but really impressive and I think uplifting start for Hayden Stillman to get things going for Vandy.
So we'll be back here tomorrow, high noon showdown with the series on the line. For Kyle Peterson, our fantastic crew here in Nashville, I'm Tom Hart. We'll see you tomorrow. Vandy in Texas in a finale. Good night, everybody. From us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll get you in 1 sec.
Perfect.